7 causes of a shaking steering wheel and why you shouldn't ignore these symptoms. Your steering wheel should feel stable, smooth, predictable, but when it starts shaking, vibrating, or wobbling in your hands, something is wrong. Sometimes it only happens at higher speed. Sometimes it happens when braking. And sometimes it shows up all the time, making the whole car feel uneasy. That is why this problem matters, because a shaking steering wheel is not just annoying. It is often your first warning that something in the tires, wheels, brakes, or suspension needs attention. And if you ignore it too long, the problem can get worse, wear out other parts faster, and in some cases, affect safety too. In this video, I'll show you 7 common causes of a shaking steering wheel. We'll go from the most common causes first to the ones people often overlook. And the key is not just what the shake feels like, it is when it happens, because the timing of the vibration often tells you where the real problem is hiding. So before you replace random parts, let's go step by step. Because number 1, unbalanced tires. This is one of the most common causes. If the weight around the tire and wheel assembly is not balanced correctly, the wheel will not rotate smoothly. And once speed increases, that imbalance becomes much more noticeable. That is when the steering wheel starts vibrating. Usually, this kind of shake is most obvious at certain speed ranges. For example, it may feel mild at low speed, stronger at highway speed, then change again as speed continues to rise. That speed-specific pattern is a very useful clue because it often points more toward tire balance than brakes or suspension. You may also notice uneven tire wear or a vibration that seems to come and go depending on road speed. This is one of the first things worth checking because it is common and often fixable without major repair. Cause number 2. Damaged tire or wheel problem. Sometimes the issue is not balance alone, sometimes the tire itself is damaged. A tire can develop uneven wear, a flat spot, sidewall damage, or internal belt problems. And a wheel can bend after hitting a pothole, curb, or road hazard. When that happens, the steering wheel may start shaking, even if the tires were balanced before. This kind of vibration may feel stronger and more constant than a simple balance issue. And sometimes, it gets worse over time as the tire continues wearing unevenly. If the steering wheel's shake started after hitting something hard, this cause moves much higher on the list, because even a small bend or hidden tire damage can create a very noticeable vibration. Cause number 3. Wheel alignment problem. Alignment does not usually cause the same kind of high-speed vibration as unbalanced tires, but it can still play a major role in steering wheel issues. If the wheels are not pointed correctly, the vehicle may pull, feel unstable, or wear the tires unevenly. And once the tires start wearing unevenly, that can eventually lead to vibration too. So sometimes, alignment is not the direct cause of the shake. It is the reason the tires started wearing badly enough to create one. This is why steering wheel shake and alignment problems often show up together. If the car pulls to one side, the steering wheel is off-center, or tire wear looks uneven, alignment should definitely be considered. Cause number 4. Warped brake rotors. This is one of the biggest clues when the steering wheel shakes mainly during braking. Brake rotors are supposed to stay flat and even, but over time, heat and wear can create uneven surfaces. When that happens, the brake pads do not grip smoothly, and instead of controlled braking, you feel pulsation and vibration. If the steering wheel feels calm while cruising, but starts shaking the moment you press the brakes, warped rotors move much higher on the list. The faster you're going, the more noticeable it often becomes. You may also feel a pulse in the brake pedal. That combination, steering wheel shake plus brake pedal pulse, is one of the strongest clues that the problem may be in the rotors. Cause number 5. Worn brake pads or a sticking brake caliper. Brake pads and calipers can also create steering wheel shake. If the pads are worn unevenly, or if a caliper sticks and applies uneven pressure, braking force becomes unbalanced. And when braking becomes unbalanced, the steering wheel may vibrate. This often feels a little different from a pure tire vibration because it shows up more during braking and may also come with pulling to one side, brake smell, heat from one wheel, or uneven braking feel. This is one of those causes that can wear out other brake parts too if ignored too long. Because once the caliper or pad issue begins, it usually creates more heat, more wear, and more imbalance over time. Cause number 6. Loose or worn suspension and steering parts. This is a very important category. Parts like tie rods, ball joints, control arm bushings, and other front-end components help keep the wheels stable and controlled. If those parts wear out, the steering system may develop play, and once there is play, the steering wheel may shake, especially over bumps, at speed, or under braking. This type of vibration often feels less like a smooth buzz and more like looseness or instability. The steering wheel may feel nervous, the front end may feel less planted, and the shake may change depending on road surface. This is one of the more serious causes because worn steering or suspension parts can directly affect control. Cause number 7. Wheel bearing or front-end bearing related issue. Wheel bearings allow the wheels to rotate smoothly, but if a bearing wears out, loosens, or gets damaged, it can introduce movement where there should be none. That movement can create vibration, noise, and steering instability. In some cases, you may hear humming, growling, or grinding along with the shake, and the vibration may get worse as speed increases. This is not always the first cause people think of, but it is a real one, especially if the vibration comes together with front-end noise or a rough feeling from one side. Now, here is something very important. The pattern matters. If the steering wheel shakes mainly at highway speeds, think first about tire balance, tire damage, or wheel issues. If it shakes mainly while braking, think more about rotors, brake pads, calipers, or front suspension movement. If it comes with pulling, uneven tire wear, or off-center steering, alignment becomes more important. And if the front end feels loose, unstable, or noisy, suspension steering or wheel bearing issues move higher on the list. That is why the best diagnosis does not come from the vibration alone. It comes from when it happens, how it feels, and what other symptoms appear with it. So what should you check first? Start with the basics. Look at the tires. Check for uneven wear, visible damage, or signs of impact. Think about whether the shake starts at a certain speed. Then ask yourself, does braking make it worse? Does the car pull? Does the front end feel loose? Did the problem begin after hitting a pothole or curb? Those clues matter a lot because they help narrow the problem down before money gets wasted on the wrong repair. So let's quickly recap. A shaking steering wheel may be caused by unbalanced tires, damaged tires or wheels, alignment problems, warped brake rotors, worn brake pads or sticking calipers, worn suspension or steering parts, or wheel bearing issues. Some of these are simple, some are hidden, and some can directly affect how safe the car feels to drive. That is why a shaking steering wheel should never be ignored for long, because once the steering stops feeling stable, the car is already telling you something needs attention. And now I want to hear from you. When your steering wheel started shaking, what did it feel like first? Only at high speed? Only while braking? After hitting a pothole? Or all the time? Comment below with the exact symptom you noticed first, and if enough people mention the same issue, I'll make the next video on that exact problem.